Every journey into understanding begins with a question, a premise that sparks our curiosity and guides our exploration. Today, our journey takes us to a particularly intriguing crossroads, posed by the question, why did the United States government ban Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5? It's a question that immediately conjures images of powerful new technologies, perhaps complex AI systems or groundbreaking digital platforms, and the significant governmental decisions that might lead to their restriction. But before we can delve into the why, we must first rigorously examine the what. Just as a mathematician verifies the axioms before building a theorem, or a physicist confirms experimental conditions before interpreting results, our first step must be to establish the verifiable reality of this purported ban. The date, June 13, 2026, grounds our inquiry in the present, allowing us to consult the most current public records. As we systematically search through the vast digital landscape, official government pronouncements, the legislative archives of Capitol Hill, the regulatory filings from agencies like the FTC or Department of Commerce, and the extensive reporting from reputable news organizations, a striking development emerges. On June 13, 2026, the U.S. government, citing national security concerns and export control authorities, issued a directive to Anthropic, the developer of Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5. This directive ordered Anthropic to immediately suspend access to both models for all foreign nationals, whether inside or outside the United States. This was not a full, universal ban for all users, but a significant restriction that led Anthropic to disable both models for every customer globally to ensure compliance. The company had launched Claude Fable 5, described as its most capable widely released model for demanding reasoning and long-horizon agentic work, just 3 days prior. Claude Mythos 5, sharing the same underlying capabilities but with some safeguards lifted in areas like cybersecurity, was available in limited release to approved partners. So, the what is now clearer: a targeted suspension of access for foreign nationals, prompting a global shutdown by the developer to comply. But this leads us directly to the why. What were these national security concerns that prompted such an immediate and impactful directive? Anthropic stated that the government's directive did not provide specific details of its national security concern. However, the company's understanding was that the government believed it had become aware of a method of bypassing, or jailbreaking, Fable 5. This jailbreaking technique allegedly allowed the model to identify a small number of previously known, minor software vulnerabilities. Anthropic, while complying, disagreed with the severity of this finding, asserting that similar capabilities to identify such vulnerabilities are widely available from other models, including OpenAI's GPT 5.5, and that Fable 5's safeguards were substantially more effective than those of previous models. They had also worked extensively with government bodies like the US government and the UK AI Scion red teaming Fable's safeguards for thousands of hours prior to launch. This situation highlights a critical angle in the evolving landscape of advanced artificial intelligence: the tension between rapidly advancing technological capabilities and the imperative of national security. When powerful AI models, especially those capable of advanced coding, cybersecurity analysis, or scientific research, are developed, governments face complex policy challenges. Historically, export controls have focused on physical goods like semiconductor chips that power AI. This directive, however, marks a significant escalation, targeting the AI models themselves, indicating that they are increasingly viewed as national security assets. Consider the broader implications. If an AI model, even with robust safeguards, can be jailbroken to reveal vulnerabilities, the concern isn't just about the immediate exploit. It's about the potential for foreign adversaries to leverage such tools to enhance their cyber attack capabilities against critical infrastructure or national defense systems. The National Security Agency, for instance, has established an Artificial Intelligence Security Center to detect and counter AI vulnerabilities, recognizing that adversaries are actively testing tools to gain military and economic advantage through AI. Furthermore, this incident unfolded amidst a backdrop of ongoing policy shifts and disputes concerning AI. The Trump administration, earlier in June 2026, issued an executive order balancing national security and cybersecurity risks with innovation, emphasizing a framework for AI developers to voluntarily share certain new models with the federal government before public release. There was also a previous dispute where Anthropic had refused to allow the U.S. military to use its AI models for fully autonomous weapons systems, leading the Pentagon to place Anthropic on a blacklist. National Security Presidential Memorandum 11, NSPM 11, signed on June 5, 2026, directs national security agencies to accelerate AI adoption and emphasizes ensuring AI technologies are reliable, robust, steerable, and controllable, and that no commercial entity can disable or degrade an AI system critical to national security without government approval. This interplay between private sector innovation and governmental oversight forms a dynamic, often uncertain, regulatory environment. It forces us to confront fundamental questions about control, risk, and the dual-use nature of advanced technologies. The speed at which AI capabilities are evolving means that policy frameworks are constantly adapting, striving to mitigate potential harms without stifling beneficial innovation. Beyond national security, governmental concerns about AI typically span other critical dimensions. Privacy, for example, is a major axis of regulation. AI systems often rely on vast amounts of data, raising concerns about unchecked surveillance, data breaches, and the repurposing of personal information without consent. Ethical considerations, such as algorithmic bias and discrimination, are also central. If AI models perpetuate or amplify societal biases in areas like hiring, lending, or criminal justice, governments may intervene to ensure fairness and civil liberties. Economic impacts, including market concentration, potential job displacement, and the creation of two-tier access to powerful AI, can also trigger regulatory responses aimed at promoting fair competition and stability. The case of Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5, while rooted in specific national security concerns about a potential jailbreak, becomes a vivid illustration of these broader governmental challenges in governing frontier AI. It underscores the precarious nature of relying on external AI tools, as access can be revoked without warning. It also highlights the ongoing debate between industry, which often advocates for transparent and technically grounded regulatory processes, and governments, which prioritize national security in an increasingly complex geopolitical landscape. This unfolding situation reminds us that our intellectual journey into understanding technology must not only grasp its internal mechanics but also its external interactions with society, policy, and power. It's a continuous process of observation, analysis, and adaptation, much like refining a mathematical model as new data emerges from the real world.